Deep in the rural heartlands of Zimbabwe, in the district of Chikomba, lies a vast expanse of scrubland and savanna. Here, life moves slowly. Villagers tend to their crops, children play in dusty paths, and cattle roam across open plains. But in the dry season of 2002, something shifted.
It began with whispers, cattle vanishing at night, unusual paw prints near homes, low guttural growls echoing across the fields. Then, the first body was found. A young man named Tinashe, barely 18, was walking home at dusk after tending to his father's cattle. When he didn't return, his family searched all night. At sunrise, they found his remains at the edge of a dry riverbed. His body was mauled, the marks clear. A lion had attacked and eaten him. In Chikomba, lions weren't unheard of, but attacks like this? They were unprecedented.
Officials at first assumed it was a one-time tragedy, a rogue lion that had strayed from the Save Valley Conservancy, or perhaps escaped poachers in a nearby game reserve. But within 2 weeks, 2 more people were taken. One, a mother fetching water, the other, an elderly man walking to morning prayer. And now, fear turned into terror. The lion, it seemed, was targeting humans, not by accident, not by surprise, but deliberately. Villages across the district imposed nightly curfews. Farmers refused to go into their fields alone. Men formed watch groups. Drums were beaten at night to ward off the beast. Children were kept indoors. School attendance dropped. People lived in a constant state of dread.
Reports came in describing the lion, large, male, scarred across the left eye. Locals began calling it Murwi Venhu, the killer of men, and still, it hunted. Over the course of 3 months, at least 11 people were killed, some in broad daylight, others dragged from their huts at night. The lion had become bolder and more cunning. It avoided armed patrols, circled traps, attacked where guards had just left. Zimbabwean wildlife authorities were overwhelmed. Chikomba wasn't part of any major national park. It had no protection, no fences. It was a place where people and wilderness lived side by side, and now paid the price for it.
Why had the lion become a man-eater? Some experts pointed to injury, that it had a damaged jaw or old bullet wounds, making hunting antelope and buffalo too difficult. Others blamed habitat loss. Years of encroachment had pushed lions closer to human settlements. A few believed the lion had once scavenged on a human corpse and developed a taste for human flesh. But the villagers didn't care about theories. They wanted it gone. Eventually, the government authorized a licensed hunter, a former ranger named Godfrey Mapfudzi, to track and kill the lion. Godfrey knew the bush. He studied the patterns, followed the kills, and on a moonlit night near a half-eaten donkey carcass, he waited. Hours passed. Then, rustling, the lion appeared, massive and silent. As it bent to feed, a single shot rang out. The beast staggered, roared, and fell. Godfrey approached cautiously. One wrong move could still mean death. But it was over. The killer was dead.
The lion's body was inspected. It was indeed large, old, with worn-down teeth and a shattered rear leg, likely from a previous snare trap. That injury might have turned the mighty hunter into a desperate killer. The people of Chikomba wept, not just in mourning for those lost, but in relief. The reign of fear had ended. But the story didn't disappear. To this day, villagers in Chikomba still tell tales of the lion with the scarred eye. They warn their children not to linger near the bush at dusk. They leave food offerings at the forest's edge during droughts, just in case. Because they learned one brutal truth: when hunger comes to the wild and humans take too much of its space, sometimes the wild comes for us.